What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioWare's 3 Raw TV. Today I want to do a follow-up video to the video I put up about bro science guys and science guys getting along and how we need to bury the fucking hatchet, etc. And in that video I talked about my friend Ani. And people, you know, they remember her, they remember seeing her on my videos, they remember seeing her on my Instagram, and talking about, you know, well, Jerry, like, you know, how long has she been training like this, etc., etc.? How long has she been eating that little calories? Like, none of this makes any sense. Let me kind of put this into perspective. I want to tell you guys a little story time about something that happened, shit, what year was it? It was probably 2015 or something like that. Okay, we're going to back up. We're going to start at the beginning. So, Ani and I actually met at Gold's Gym when I was actually the fitness manager then. She was one of my trainers who actually eventually became my assistant manager. So, I was the manager, she was the assistant manager. And in 2007, I believe it was, she decided she wanted to compete. And she always had a good physique. And she's like, oh, I want to do this show. And I did the show too, and she was working with like another trainer or whatever. We were friends, but I really wasn't really helping her with her stuff. I was kind of sidetracked with my own shit at the time. And we trained together for that. So I watched her train and stuff. She got on stage, and she looked better in the gym than she did on stage. And I couldn't figure out what the fuck was going on. I thought maybe it was nerves. We talked about it a little bit, and she was like, I don't know, you know, they had me doing this, they had me doing that. They had her doing all kinds of stuff that she didn't normally do based on these formulas about what this trainer thought she should do. Now, fast forward like 2, 3, 4 more shows she does over the years, right? And she works with a couple of, you know, coaches, trainers, whatever you want to call them, that are like, you know, people like, oh, they helped this person turn pro, and they're so good, they know this, they know that, and they know everything about this. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. And she would show up at these shows and not place where she wanted to, and I would keep noticing that she would always look better in the gym. She looked better in the gym, not even fucking training for competition. She was leaner. She had just, everything looked better what she was doing when she wasn't working with these guys, right? So she eventually got a little bit discouraged. And lo and behold, she finally comes to me one day. It was 2015, I believe. And she says, look, I'm going to do one more show, right? And I was like, okay, you know, like, if that's what you want to do, let's fucking, you know, go ahead and fucking kill it. Rock it out. I said, who are you working with? She said, nobody. And I was like, okay, you can do it yourself? She said, no. She goes, will you help me? And I said, yeah, I mean, you never asked me before, but I would have helped you. Absolutely, yes, I'll help you. So she says, well, you know, they wanted me to eat 6 times a day and do shakes. And I'm like, and I knew what she normally did. She only ate once a day. I'm like, so you started eating 6 times a day because they told you to eat 6 times a day? And she said, well, yeah, they told me I had to because I was going to lose muscle and this, that. And I was like, but you already had it didn't make any fucking sense. So I'm like, look, here's what we're going to do. What are you doing right now? And she told me what she was doing right then and there, right? I said, okay, this is where we start. We're going to tweak this a little bit, tweak that a little bit. You only eat once a day, continue eating once a day. Your cardio's like this is what we're going to do here, okay? No big changes. No, like you know, like they scared the shit out of her because they were telling her she has to eat 6 times a day. She has to eat 5 times a day. And the protein has to be here. Well, if she was only eating 60, 70 grams of protein, jacking your protein up to 120 fucking grams a day is too much of a fucking push. It's too much calories because they were now feeding her more carbs, more protein, more fats. You know, I'm sitting there going, fuck, they really basically just fed the shit out of her when her body didn't need it. Rather than listening to her body, they flat out listened to those formulas that they knew about, or they thought about other people that they trained and applied what they learned from other people to her, rather than just looking at her and saying, this is what I'm going to do, this is what we're going to do, it's going to be fine, right? So fast forward, you know, 5 weeks go by, 6 weeks go by, and we're slowly tweaking things, and you're seeing her get better shape, getting leaner, getting better shape. And then she's like, I don't know if I want to do figure or bikini, because she had like a physique where it could cross over either way, either a small figure competitor or a, you know, a little bit fuller bikini competitor. So she says, well, you know, I think I want to do bikini. I said, okay, you want to do bikini. Or was it figure? I think she decided to go with figure because she had a little more rounder muscle to her. So the show comes, right? And she said, well, what do I do? What do I do? And, you know, the last couple of days, and, you know, because, like, this guy had me, like, water load for, like, 5 days, and then we cut water 3 days. I'm like, Jesus Christ, no wonder why she had so much problems on the day of the show. They literally took her body and fucking completely changed everything that was fucking going on with her, and her body reacted poorly to it every time. Different trainers, fucking different methods, but nobody listened to her fucking body and just did what worked for her. They didn't give a fuck because they knew better. They were the fucking trainer. They were the smart one. They knew how to, they trained pros, so they knew how to get her in shape. The day of the show comes, I explained to her, this is what I think we should do. And so she says, okay, I trust you. Okay, go ahead. Let me just do this. She's like, really? But there's really not, you know, it's not big changes. Like, you're not doing these fucking crazy peak week fucking things and these loading and like all this shit. I'm like, nope, we just do this, right? So she's at the show, which was actually, I think it was the Lehigh Valley or Lehigh Championships in Pennsylvania, right? So that's about 3.5, 4 hours from where we're at. So she drives out there to the show, or I think one of her friends was competing too. And I didn't hear from her all day, you know, and I would text her, say, hey, how's everything going? I didn't hear from her. I was like, fuck, she must not have done well again. And what went wrong? And I'm starting to rack my brain. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, there's no way, you know, if she followed this, did someone else get to her and tell her she has to do this? And then she just decided to do that and didn't listen. Like, trying to figure out what possibly could have went wrong, right? So about 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night, I get a phone call. And it's her. She says, hello? I said, hey, what's going on? She goes, nothing. And I was like, how'd you do? And I was, like, her voice, I was like, oh, fuck. You know, she goes, I won. And I was like, what? She goes, I won. I won my fucking class. I won the overall. I fucking won. And I was like, it was a huge relief. I was like, fuck. I said, did you do everything like we planned? She said, yes. And she sent me pictures. And sure as fuck enough, she looked better on stage that day than she ever did in the gym. Better on stage that day than she ever had working with another fucking coach. Better on stage than she had fucking ever looked on a stage ever for any reason. And what we did was slowly, I like to call it landing the plane. Like, if you're flying a plane, and I've never flown a plane, I'm not a pilot, so don't fucking be like, Jerry, you know, no, you're right, I don't know about flying planes, but I'm not a fucking retard. I know that you don't fucking fly a plane. When you go to land, fucking push down on the thing and you fucking go down, right? This is what was happening with these guys. They were fucking doing things that were extreme, and she was fucking crashing and burning. What we want to do is slowly come in, and like, say this is the ground, right? This is the ground, this is the show, this is her as the plane. Slowly come in, and land the plane. Nothing crazy. And that's exactly what we did, and she fucking won it. I remember her coming back, and she took a picture wearing my BioS3 Training Battalion shirt. She wore the shirt out there, and she had the trophy, and there was a big smile on her face. And that was it. She retired after that with the competition. And, you know, I get in her head where she was coming from, because when you feel like you can be better, or you weren't at your best and you could do better, you want to keep going. Like, you know, I'm not the type of person, maybe some people just quit, but, you know, people that are really competitive consistently go and try to be better and do better. And they're like, until you've done your absolute best, you can't stop. And she did. And that was it. And, you know, I look back now and I'm saying to myself, like, it wasn't fucking rocket science. I didn't use science. I didn't use a fucking formula. I looked at her body, paid attention to what the fuck was going on, looked at her, adjusted things, and that's how we brought her in her fucking best shape, and she won. And, you know, I can't explain to you guys how many people work with coaches or trainers or whatever, and everything is going good, and they got this complicated fucking peak week thing, which is just, if you're not in shape, you're not in shape, right? And many people think they have, oh, I gotta lose this water. No, it's fucking fat. You're still fat. You didn't diet hard enough. You didn't diet long enough. You didn't fucking do cardio enough. You weren't loyal to your fucking diet and your cardio. So basically, you are too fucking fat, and you're gonna try diuretics and cutting water, all this bullshit. You're gonna look even worse on stage than you do here. Or like these fucking guys listening to her talking about she only eats like fucking 60 grams of protein a day. Well, that's all her fucking body needs, period. Hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts, no discussion, period. She doesn't need 120 fucking grams. It's twice the amount of protein. You know what I mean? And she eats maybe like 50 grams of carbs a day. They're like, oh, you gotta have 200 grams of carbs with all the fucking, you know, you're on your feet working and that's energy. And they're given good reasons for it. And scientifically, it makes sense, right? If she's on her feet, calorically, she's burning more calories, so she needs to eat more, but technically, she always does that shit, and her body doesn't fucking lose weight. She maintains a super fit level year-round. So why the fuck would you feed to her like fucking crazy when she's already maintaining her muscle mass? She's maintaining her energy, her stamina, her health. She's maintaining everything. So she doesn't need 120 grams of protein. She doesn't need 150 grams of carbs. She doesn't need it. She needed what her body fucking needed, and rather than people looking at it and saying, this is what we're going to do because this is what your body needs, they went the science route and fucked her up every single fucking time. So the take-home message of this whole thing is, you know, I have been around a long time with this shit. It's been fucking 25 years. I have helped people turn pro. I've made all the mistakes myself. Every fucking mistake you can make, I have made myself. So when something happens, I've seen it already. It's happened to me, it's happened to people that I know. It's very easy to adjust these things because I'm not sitting there going, well, it doesn't fall in the perimeters of the formula, therefore it can't be real, so we'll just keep pushing this formula that's not fucking working. You know, I have no knock on these science guys whatsoever, but You know, and not all of them. I'm not going to generalize them, but there are some out there that will use that fucking science as a way to sell you your fucking hopes and dreams, and they will literally tear your shit apart and fucking blame it on fucking judges. Oh, well, they were fucking like that other guy better because he goes to the gym. They'll blame it on everything except the fact that they fucked up and gave you the wrong information, and they move on and do it with fucking client after client. It's fucking sickening. So hopefully you guys understand that, like, science is not the be-all end-all of this fucking sport by any fucking stretch of the imagination. And you don't have to be looking at a fucking textbook to get into your best shape and be the best you've ever been. BioStrengthTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostrength.com is a blog to be the best you can, bicep, and we are